Recently, there's been a lot of Star Wars, and I mean a lot. From the sequel trilogy to Rebels, The Mandalorian, Obi-Wan Kenobi, The Ahsoka Show, Book of Boba Fett, and well, the list goes on. And honestly, some of this stuff has been really good. I absolutely love the first two seasons of The Mandalorian. The Clone Wars Season 7 and Rogue One were also incredible. But the question here, for both me and a lot of fans is, does this make up for the bad? Because it seems like for every good show or movie, there is 2 or 3 flops that go with it. And this is a really difficult topic for me to talk about, because I love Star Wars, and I grew up watching Disney Star Wars. But at the same time, I can't deny what I'm seeing. YouTubers like Star Wars Theory uploading many rants about Disney Star Wars. While many Star Wars shows have declining viewer rates, it's clearly showing that fans are starting to give up on Disney Star Wars. According to Google Trends, Star Wars hype was at its peak in 2015, at the time of The Force Awakens, but since then it's been in a steady decline. You can see each little ripple representing a new project getting smaller and smaller every time. The thing is, Revenge of the Sith, despite the initial hate it got from critics, is still pretty high up there compared to all other recent projects. Also, something I find really interesting about this is just the discrepancy in the Rotten Tomatoes scores. You'll have critics giving, for instance, Ahsoka 86 while audience only gives it 69, or the worst ones like The Last Jedi, where critics gave it a 91 and audiences gave it a 42. Then you'll have ones like this, Resistance, 92 from critics, 47 from audiences. Or this weird case where somehow The Rise of Skywalker, while getting 51% from critics, got 86% from audiences. Like, what the hell is wrong with you guys? That's higher than the Revenge of the Sith, Rogue One, The Force Awakens. Like, that's crazy. If you did that, you're stupid. Alright, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, but what I find interesting is it's almost like a lot of these recent scores aren't necessarily terrible. Like 69 from Ahsoka, 86 from Andor, 62 from Obi-Wan Kenobi. The Book of Boba Fett isn't great. Bad Batch 83. Mandalorian somehow got 78. But it just feels dry. They're not terrible, but there's nothing to them that's standing out. And from what I see, there aren't insane amounts of reviews, for instance for Ahsoka. While for a lot of the other ones, like Last Jedi, there are a ton of reviews, so we get a lot of mixed information. For these ones, it's generic reviews, but there aren't that many of them. It's just like people are just like watching and just forgetting about it, not really interacting with them much. Well, besides Obi-Wan Kenobi and The Mandalorian, but really it just doesn't feel like people are interested in these, whether they're good or bad, because none of these are exceptionally good. They're just good. The good ones are good, the bad ones are bad. There's nothing to it. But I guess going back to our question, is Disney ruining Star Wars? In my opinion, it's really hard to tell, because I think recently especially there's been a lot of negatives, but Disney has brought some cool stuff to Star Wars, like The Mandalorian, like Clone Wars Season 7, which probably would have happened without them anyway. Rebels wasn't bad, Rogue One was pretty good, and there's definitely a lot more good Star Wars now, even though there's a lot more bad. So you can argue both ways with that one. Anyway, so after examining the data, what can Disney do? Well, in my opinion, the first thing they can do is slow down the content production. There is way too much being produced in a very short amount of time, and most fans are just tired of it. And considering all that's coming in the near future, it just seems like Disney is milking the Star Wars brand rather than trying to create meaningful projects. This also has, in my opinion, many parallels with what Marvel is going through right now. There's just way too much content being produced way too quickly to the point where most fans are tired of it, and most of it frankly feels rushed and lacking. So if any of you Disney executives are watching, instead of striking my channel, please just try to listen to this coming from a diehard fan. We love these franchises and want more in the future, but only if it is coming from a place of love and passion for the franchise. We want stories that have the same effect as Luke throwing away his lightsaber or Order 66, not whatever this is. So please go for quality over quantity, and hopefully people's love for these franchises can be reunited. Thanks for watching, and peace out.